Hey alchemists, get ready for a big month. March 2025 is definitely a month that you want to plan for so you can take advantage of all of these opportunities that are unfolding for us. In this March astrology and energy update, we are going to cover the 4 retrogrades, the astrology new year, the zodiac new year, the energy new year, and the 2 eclipses and the super moon. That's right, the March astrology is super packed, and the themes of March 2025 are awareness and reset. March is going to create a reset point for all of us, both at the material and at the energetic level. So in this video, we're going to explore the astrology of March 2025, the energy updates, and we'll end with 3 rituals that you can do to welcome the astrology new year on March 20th. Hey, welcome if you're new here. My name is SolTara. I'm a medium and I share alchemy practices from Atlantis and from ancient Egypt. If that resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe. March creates a big portal for reset energy. That's because in March, we start the astrology new year, the zodiac new year, because we're starting over with our zodiac cycle as the sun moves into Aries on March 20th with the equinox. Some people also refer to this as an energy new year. So March is going to create a beautiful window of incredible new beginnings and opportunities for quantum shifts, for manifesting, and for healing. Let's start with the most powerful event of March, and that is the March 20th equinox. This is what kicks off the astrology new year, the zodiac new year, because the sun moves into Aries once again and we start the zodiac cycle all over again. This is also known as the energy new year because for 90% of the global population, this is the start of spring, and we see the return of the sun, we see the return of wildlife back and flowers and plants, so everything is blossoming right now. That's why this is known as the energy new year, because the sun's warm rays are returning back and creating more life force in our planet. But it's not just March 20th that creates a huge window for manifesting, healing, and quantum shifts, but this energy is going to peak 1 week before March 20th and 1 week after March 20th. That's because it's sandwiched between the March 13th full moon total eclipse and the super new moon eclipse at the end of the month, which I will explain at the end of this video. The equinox, our ancestors celebrated it as a big gateway. It signified a new chapter in our soul's journey. That's why there are sacred sites in every area of the world dedicated to the March equinox. Every single continent has this because this is the most important portal that our ancestors worked with and that we can work with. Here's how you can work with this manifesting power of the astrology new year. I was asking my spirit guides what are the most important things for the collective to become aware of about March and the energy in March, and they were very adamant about starting something new. So the few days after March 20th or even March 20th itself, this is a time for you to start something new. And they said to allow the germination period to happen over the next few months, but we must start it now. I actually wasn't sure what germination meant, but germination is the process by which a seed turns into a seedling. So it starts its process into becoming a plant. During the March equinox, this is a time for you to start something new. Whether that's a relationship, whether that's a business, whether that's a new lifestyle thing that you're bringing into your life, whether you're trying to move, this day and the week after is a period for you to start planting the seeds and nourishing them. So sometimes it's easy as writing a manifestation letter and committing to making this happen, because at the material level, you may not see many things moving for you. Like let's say you're trying to move across the world you may not see much progress on that. However, this is going to create quantum ripples across space and time. That's because right now we are in eclipse season, and during eclipses, the veil between the dimensions is thinner, which means that we can create quantum shifts much more easily. And the equinox also makes the veil between the dimensions thinner. So right now, it's a very powerful time for manifesting. To help you to start this Astrology New Year on your highest timeline, we're hosting a live alchemy workshop where you are going to learn 3 alchemy practices from Atlantis, from ancient Egypt, that will allow you to transform your blocks using alchemy, and different ways for you to align with your highest timeline, including connecting with your past lives, parallel lives, and clearing that karma across your multidimensional soul. We are going to explore the science behind how this past life parallel healing works, and how to influence your timelines and how to work with your timelines in a more conscious way so you can align with your highest potential. If you want to join us for this special live alchemy workshop, you can sign up in the description of this video. These are the 3 rituals that you can do to welcome the astrology and zodiac new year. The first one is go out to nature anytime between 3 days before and 7 days after the March equinox on March 20th or 21st, depending on where you are in the world. And the reason why it's 7 days after is because exactly 7 days after we have the super new moon eclipse, which is going to amplify the equinox portal. So go out to nature and put your bare feet on the earth or lay on the earth. This is known as grounding. Our energy fields need to recalibrate themselves. We've been going through a lot of chaos, a lot of turmoil at the collective level, and we need to rebalance our energy fields. Why? Because on equinox day, we have exactly 12 hours of daylight, 12 hours of nighttime in nearly every place in the world. This external representation of balance is also happening at a subtle energetic level. So during the equinoxes and solstice, the Earth's energy lines come into harmony, which means basically that we can receive a lot of healing and spiritual growth by being on the Earth. So go out onto the Earth and practice some grounding. The second ritual you can do for this Astrology New Year is on March 20th or 21st, depending on when equinox is in your local time zone. In the morning at sunrise, go out and greet the sun and place your palms towards the sun. Our palms have chakras on them, and so these are receiving information. So during the equinox, we receive an extra amount of information coming in from other dimensions. That's because when we shift seasons from winter to spring, the earth tilts. When the earth tilts, it creates cracks in the magnetosphere, in the magnetic layer of our earth. So these cracks are allowing more cosmic energy, solar energy to come into our planet. So you can receive that consciously through your palms. And make sure that you drink water after you do that. The third ritual that you can do is cleanse the energy in your home. This is like spring cleaning. So yes, according to feng shui, you should do spring cleaning to get rid of the clutter around your house. But you also have to get rid of the stale energy, the stuck energy that is in your home. You can watch a video that I made, 11 ways to cleanse the energy in your home, in the description of this video, which goes through many different methods to cleanse the energy in your space. And the last thing, this is not really a ritual, but this is something that's going to help you to integrate the activations that are flowing in from the equinox, is take chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what allows plants to absorb the sun's light and turn it into photosynthesis, so turn it into chemicals like oxygen and sugar. So this is what allows plants to go through photosynthesis and create life force for themselves and food for themselves. So if you take chlorophyll, it's going to bring nourishment and vitality into your cells, which is going to allow your cells to be able to hold more light that is coming in from the activations of the equinox, of the eclipses. Now let's explore the astrology of March 2025. We start off March 1st with Venus going retrograde. This is the first of 4 retrogrades in March. March is a very busy month, but don't worry, if you prepare and you set yourself up to work with the astrology rather than against it, then you're going to have a much smoother March, and actually a much smoother next 6 months, because we have the 2 eclipses in March, and eclipses influence us for 6 months. So if you can prepare, if you can really center and clear your energy this month, that's going to impact the rest of the next 6 months. Venus retrograde happens from March 1st until April 12th. Venus is the planet of love, creativity, relationships, money. It's the planet of art and comfort. I was asking my spirit guides, what does this particular Venus retrograde focus on? And my guides said that during this Venus retrograde, we have to pay attention to in what aspects of our lives is Venus creating contractions into. So Venus tends to regulate our relationships, our creativity. It's how we receive love. It's how we're able to receive anything. It also governs our relationship to material possessions and to finances. So during this Venus retrograde, explore these areas in your life that Venus governs and observe where there's contraction happening. And if you can focus on observing these contractions, it's going to allow for more expansion to happen after this Venus retrograde ends, which is on April 12th. So think about muscles. When you are at the gym and you are building your muscles actually break and then your muscles become bigger. So during this Venus retrograde, you may experience contractions in these areas of your life that Venus influences, but don't freak out because it's just there to show you something to help you to make some changes within those aspects of your life so that those areas of your life can expand, just like your muscles contract to expand. Then on March 11th, we have the Sun and Saturn conjunction, which basically means that the Saturn energy is going to be amplified. Saturn is known as the Lord of Karma. Saturn governs hierarchies, self-discipline, structures. It's fascinating because this happens 2 days right before the full moon total eclipse on March 13th. So this is an opportunity for you to prepare for the full moon total eclipse that happens 2 days later, because Saturn is the Lord of Karma and eclipses are a period of karmic clearing. On March 11th, take some time to meditate because it's going to help you to cushion the intensity that the March 13th full moon total eclipse is going to create. So on March 11th, spend some time sitting with Saturn and asking what are some karmic clearings that you need to focus on. Once you get those insights, then you will be better able to release with the full moon releasing power. The full moon in March happens on March 13th. It happens in Virgo in tropical astrology and in Leo in sidereal astrology. And I have a separate video on that, so make sure that you subscribe to know when that video comes out. Immediately the day after this full moon total lunar eclipse, we have Mercury retrograde. So this is the second retrograde of the month, 2 of 4 so far that we've covered. And the Mercury retrograde happens from March 14th until April 6th. And Mercury governs our communication. It governs the way that our mind works. So think about the intellect, think about how you process information, and it also governs technology. This Mercury retrograde is creating a reflection point before we start the energy in Astrology New Year on March 20th. You want to write this date down. On March 24th, we have the Mercury Cazimi, which means that Mercury is in the heart of the sun. So it's going to be nourished with the vitality and life force of the sun. This is a beautiful day for mental breakthroughs. So take some time on that day with your journal and reflect on any ideas that you have, because remember, we will still be in that window of the equinox portal. Then on March 19th, this is the third retrograde of March, Juno goes retrograde. Juno is an asteroid that relates to our ability to be in a committed relationship. This can be a romantic relationship or a partnership. It also highlights issues of fairness within relationships. So is there an equality in giving and receiving? It's fascinating that Juno goes retrograde the day before the equinox, because remember, on equinox day we have exactly 12 hours a day and 12 hours a night, representing that perfect harmony. Pay attention during this time of any repressed feelings that you may be having, or another person in your relationship may be having, about the giving and receiving dynamic. Now, March 21st, the day after the Astrology and Energy New Year begins, we have Vesta going retrograde. So this is the 4th retrograde of March. So hopefully by this time in March, you are still feeling good. You're still feeling aligned and centered. And I want to share something real quick before I explain what Vesta's energy is. I'm calling Vesta the star of this equinox. And the reason is because first I sit with my spirit guides and I ask them about the energy and the astrology update for the collective for March. And they were very adamant about starting something new. So after I sit with my guides and channel, then I go look at the astrology. And the reason why Vesta is the star of this equinox is because Vesta is an asteroid that represents a commitment and a willpower to focus on one purpose that you have. Remember earlier how my guides were very adamant about starting something new? It's also being reflected in the astrology with Vesta going retrograde, because Vesta is about pouring all of one's resources into one particular cause or purpose or goal. And you are pouring your intention, your efforts, your time, your dedication into something. And this represents your ability to focus your energy. In eclipse season, we're going to be going through a lot of tumultuous change, a lot of instability, and you cannot get swept up in this wave of change because there are many different agendas of what people want for your life, what the government wants for your life, what your family wants for your life, what your boss wants for your life. And this is why you have to really be intentional with where you are pouring your focus and resources into. Vesta's energy is all about a commitment to one particular purpose that's important to you. So you can think about this like your soul's purpose. Vesta is represented as a fire goddess, and her sacred flame, it's an eternal flame that was lit in her temple. And this eternal flame represents the purity and strength that one needs to achieve one's purpose. I want to share a message that Goddess Sekhmet, who is the ancient Egyptian goddess of fire, shared with us at our full moon ritual last February. And that was to tend to your sacred flame within and tend to the sacred flame within others. And I thought that was such a beautiful message that she shared. And it's so aligned with this Juno retrograde about giving and receiving in relationships. And last but not least, we end March 29th with a super new moon solar eclipse. A solar eclipse happens during a new moon, and a super new moon is when the moon is closer to the earth, which means that the moon energies will be much stronger. Because this is a solar eclipse, this energy of new beginnings will be completely amplified. This is an incredible opportunity for manifesting. Definitely take your time that day to manifest what is in alignment with your highest good. In tropical astrology, this new moon happens in Aries. In sidereal astrology, it happens in Pisces. This is the last eclipse of the Aries and Libra eclipse cycle that we've been moving through since 2023. This is a good opportunity for you to clear confusion that you may have since 2023. So maybe list out the things in your life that you were deciding in 2023 and see if there's any remaining confusion around those particular areas of your life. During this super new moon solar eclipse, pay attention to your teeth, because Pisces represents the teeth, and in tropical astrology, Aries also influences the teeth. So pay attention to any issues that you may be having in your teeth, but also there could be a subtle message here, because in indigenous traditions, the people would all often wear talismans with a shark tooth on it or any other animal tooth for protection. Now, eclipses are a period where the veil between the dimensions is thinner, which means that more beings can come into our planet. Some friendly and some are just trying to create distortions in our life. They have nothing else better to do. They don't sleep, they don't eat. So that's what they do. They just kind of have fun with us, and not everything is on our path to work with. So think about protection, not in a way that something's out to get you, but more so that you don't want to be influenced by all energy, right? That's not helpful. Happy energy in Astrology New Year. I hope to see you at our alchemy workshop so you can get more practical exercises to align with your highest timeline in this energy new year. You can sign up for that workshop right here, and you can watch this video here for 9 things to avoid doing during eclipse season. Much love.